Hey, what's going on, guys? Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Abzan Doom Foretold deck for standard best of one. So I've been a huge fan of Doom Foretold. In fact, I've covered it a couple times on the channel already, but the last time I played Abzan, the last time was actually Abzan Counters, but the last time I played Abzan Control was the same-ish shell, but instead of running Doom Foretold, we ran the food package, and I haven't played Doom in a minute, so I really want to give a Doom Foretold list a try. And I want to try it with some of the new-ish, because, Kaldheim's been out for about 2 months now, just a bit under that. Well, enchantments from that set. Now, obviously, the main incentive to be in Abzan is binding the old gods. Destroying a non-land permanent and ramping you is crazy, especially because on chapter 3, we don't really care for the creatures you control gain death touch, so it's a very free sacrifice to the Doom Foretold. Other incentives to be in the Abzan color combination are Garruk, which I'm just kind of running as a top end. We don't get to play with Garruk all that often, and just as a one-of, it can be a lot of fun in these types of lists. But aside from those two cards, we really are just a Orzhov, Doom Foretold deck, and we can get into the list right now. So we start off, I actually haven't played a lot of Doom this season, and I haven't net decked it. I've just kind of threw together the cards that I would typically run going through it, and we're actually going to get into it right now. So we got some Glass Caskets, just cheap early removal, pairs really well with Yorion, which we have one as the companion, one in the main deck, pairs really well with Skyclave Apparition. We have 4 Births. Birth is a pretty much free sacrifice to Doom Foretold. It also pairs well with Archon, which I'm trying out for one of the first times in a Doom Foretold shell. So I hope that's going to go well. At the very least, it can maybe make us a 2/2 Pegasus, ramp us, make sure we hit land, and maybe be a sacrifice to Doom Foretold. So it has a lot of uses. Eliminates, because I do want instant speed removal, and I am a little bit worried about Crawling Barrens. I've been playing against it more and more. Also, Doom Foretold, Elspeth Conquers Death, Binding, all that stuff can take out bigger creatures, so I guess I'm a bit more worried about smaller ones in the early game, which is why I'm going with Eliminates in this deck. Valky, because it's pretty much free, you can play it as the 2 mana Valky, or you can wait for 7 mana and play it as Tybalt. We run 4 red sources in the deck. Basically, instead of running the Orzhov Scryland, we run the Savai Triome, which has land types that has a swamp type for the Castle Locthwain, and can also tap for red to help us splash for Tybalt, so pretty much free. Mazemind Tome, I really don't see anyone else running Mazemind Tomes in their Doom Foretold decks. I see a lot of Golden Eggs, and I always prefer Mazemind Tome. Golden Egg is less of a mana investment, but Mazemind Tome will usually get you more value, and you can still sacrifice it to the Doom Foretold, even though it hasn't gotten you max value. Like, let's say you've scryed twice and gotten a card, that's still more value than you would have gotten out of a Golden Egg, and you can even get up to like 3 cards before you sacrifice it to a Doom Foretold, and if you don't sacrifice it, you can gain 4 life instead of 3. So all in all, I do find the Mazemind Tome works better in these Doom Foretold-y decks, but that's just me, I don't see it very often. Treacherous Blessing, sacrifice to Doom Foretold, not gain some life, draw some cards, and you can blink it with Yorion. You guys have seen all this stuff before. Same thing for the Nightmare. Well, not drawing cards, but blink it with the Yorion, sacrifice it before chapter 3 goes off, because it's typically the least powerful chapter, unless you're against, like, Rakdos. Skyclave Apparition, catch-all removal in creature form, blinkable with Yorion, really solid. Omen of the Sun, because we also are best of one, basically free Doom fodder, blinkable with Yorion. You guys have seen all this stuff before. Archon and Event, 2/2 split. I would typically just go for 4 events and call it a day, because best of one, but I am trying out more Archons. This card has performed really well against Mono White. Then again, so is the Extinction event, but I want to try the 2/2 split. I think we are leaning a bit more towards white, yep. So the Archon shouldn't be too difficult to cast, especially because despite being a 3-color deck, we really only ever need 1 green pip. And yeah, so we're going to try this out. If it doesn't go well, I'll just swap these out for 2 more Extinction events. The Doom Foretold, also trying out Free as Retribution, makes a 4/4 white angel creature token, then you can basically use that angel as a removal spell, and typically I plan on sacrificing it to the Doom before chapter 3 goes off, but if you can get in for, 4 damage on the second chapter, and then another 8, that's pretty solid. So I don't know, it can be like a weird mini win con that you can also blink with Yorion, and we can also make angels with the Amirius Call if that ever comes up, but just to let you guys know, it's in the deck. And the bindings, 1 main deck Yorion, because we have a lot of stuff to blink, but I don't think it's worth having more. It might be. You guys can play with as many as you want, just because I actually have crammed this deck with a bunch of blinkables. So, you know, I like the one in the main deck. One is Companion, ECD, exile whatever, tax your opponent, and get something back. We have Valky as the creature to get back, Skycleave Apparition, Archon, maybe a Yorion, and Garruk. So only 3 copies is fine, especially if we're blinking it more. But we have, like, what? How many creatures is this? Like, creatures 9. So, you know, hopefully you get something off your ECD. And Garruk is a top end. Mana base, we have a couple basics in the Fabled Passage, 4 planes because we have 4 Birth of Meletes. I actually might play with these numbers. I might want another planes or maybe 1 less birth. If I change it throughout the video, that's why. A couple swamps, 2 forests, all the pathways. In the Abzan Triome, obviously, the Savai Triome we went over, and 1 Emiria's Call, because I was trying to decide between a last playable and a 35th land, and I settled on, well, both in the form of a DFC that we can also, you know, well, land and spell. So that's for the list, guys. The only thing I might change throughout the video is the planes count / birth count. Maybe I'll add another removal spell or something. We'll see. But yeah, if you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Nope. Can't keep this. Alright, this is better. Let's keep and drop off a land. Now, which land? Probably the Emiria's Call, but I guess we also kind of want to curve out, what, like 2, 3, 4. I guess we also kind of want to play this before we play this, but we might have to play the Blessing. I think we drop off the Call. Let's drop off tap land. I think having too many tap lands might become a problem. And while it does fix our mana a bit more than this would, we still have double white. And we also have white here, so, you know. Alright. Probably cycling. Maybe Boros aggro, but actually, no, they didn't cycle on turn 1. I just figured it was like weird cycling with like Ironcrag Pyromancer instead of Lurrus. But who knows? Still could be cycling. Weird. Make a white source. And I guess pass. We can't do anything. Our opponent might flash something in. They might cycle. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe some sort of Jeskai aggro, which I legitimately have seen. Thrill. Okay. Oh, that's going to be interesting. So Jeskai mutate. Who knows? If they're playing at instant speed and I'm playing at sorcery speed, this can become a bit dicey. But we'll see what they do. Thrill is always interesting. Yep, there's Jeskai. So they probably have Showdown of the Skulls in this pile. Vadrock. Sorry, mate. Jeskai mutate. I respect that. Pretty cool deck. All things considered. So maybe we get this down on green. Because we have double white. I guess we'll have double green. Do we ever really need double green? Not really. It just feels weird to make another white source here. I guess this might be our only black source. In that case, we might want this to cast an actual binding. Okay, I've talked myself into this, and I don't really want to Treacherous Blessing right here. I think I'd rather Omen of the Sun and just set up my board, play out my cards. And I can slam an Archon and then play the Blessing afterwards. And then every enchantment we make makes more Pegasi. I guess the same thing is true for the... Well, if we played Blessing first, but we lose less life all in all. Alright, so this thing's going to start burning us. Or draining us. There's a Doom. So, we're going to pay the 3. Now what's better? Archon or Doom FORETOLD? Archon's playing... Actually, I think it is Archon, because they kind of have to answer it. If not, we just lifelink them out if they're trying to drain us. And if they're making one massive creature, then Doom can just hit it next turn. So, okay. Let's try the Pegasus. No attacks. We can chump block this thing for a minute. 4-color mutate. I wonder if it's 5. I wonder if they're running Sterix on top of all this. I do respect it though. It's pretty wild. Man, this thing is creepy. I have actually not played against a Hemophage in a while. Alright, they hit their 5th land with no stress, and like, well, I guess they did have card draw. They had the Thrill. Do they have removal for this Archon? We'll see. Maybe just like a... Well, they can't even kick Bloodchief's Thirst. Never mind. They only have 1 black source. Open the Omen Paths. Okay, add 2 mana. Oh my... They man... Ugh. Sorry. Oh man, they might just pop off. Jeez, I don't know what the hell's going on with my voice today. It's been a long day, guys. Boneyard Lurker. Uh-oh. Oh no, Graveyard to Hand. Okay, that's not horrible. Oh, hold on. Is there like an infinite combo? Oh no. Is it permanent? On this card... I guess we're going to chump block this, but whenever this card mutates, return target permanent card. Permanent, yes, they couldn't have added this back anyways. Alright. I guess we do go for the Doom Foretold here. I don't want them to mutate on this again. Was there any reason to play Doom first? I don't think so. Sure. Yeah, so this is kind of my only black source right now. I do have to be careful with it. And Doom kind of eats Mutate, right? They put all their eggs in one basket, and Doom just kind of really punishes them for it. And they're passing, so we can drop off this Omen. Not playing into my Doom Foretold. Let's start with this. Let's leave all the white open. I don't need green for anything but Garrick and Blessing. Well, I might need white for stuff. Like double white for an Apparition. Alright, and we don't draw any land, but we will attack with all. Yep. And that's it for the turn, I guess, because we didn't hit a land drop. But yeah, Doom will pop and give us yet another card. Alright, there's our land. And, I mean, I'm looking for value, but our opponent could just be dead. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, they're dead on board. So, that could definitely end up being an issue. I mean, we can just play this. And play another, and play a Nightmare. Or we can get ECD going. Or we can just go for a Garrick. Like, I think all these options are fine. I don't think it really matters what we do. Let's go for this first. Just give us the possibility to double spell. We have so many answers. I think this has the highest upside. And yeah, opponent's just dead. It doesn't really matter. They could have had like a Bone Crusher Giant or something, in which case we might want to buy Yorion or play a Nightmare after. But yeah, that's the game. I'm not too surprised we beat Mutate. Pretty much a jank deck, and we have a really good matchup against it. Okay, Hand is pretty solid. We actually have all our colors. We're on the draw again. And honest to God, I think this is like my 10th, if not 12th game on the draw. I don't think I've started since like 2 or 3 days ago. Alright, so I mean, we can play Passage on 1. But I don't think we need to. I really want to thin my deck. We're going to have up to land 5 with the Birth. Are you roping opponent on turn 1? I guess we'll wait and see what we need. Let's play Swamp. Oh, it's cycling. Yep. Okay, so we're in trouble. Immediately in trouble because of the Flare. We have no counter magic, which I guess is a downside of playing the version of the deck I am. So we're going to get this online. We're going to get our land. Opponent's just going to cycle, cycle, cycle. And I have to get Archon going. And then ideally I draw more enchantments. What I would have liked to do is hold this to make another 2/2, but they're not committing to the board just yet. Okay, and they do. All right. Well, that's good. And tap land is also good. Heartless Act, because they can get counters on stuff like the Flourishing Fox. And maybe they don't have another cycle. We do this now because if they untap, they can cycle and burn us for more. I didn't know that they wouldn't have another one. So what's their hand? Like multiple Zenith Flares? That'll be freaking terrifying. But I am glad that we have the Archon. We're just gonna hold our forest and chill out in case we draw Binding. And they cycle the Rescuer? Jeez, okay. And they don't hit land. Alright, well there's our green source. We're gonna hide that we're green and just play out the Archon. Next turn we might bind something. They might play Pyromancer, in which case it could be better to just ECD it. Taxo them on their Zenith Flare. Yeah, you manually tap the white source. Okay, so they do have cyclers, unless they've just been drawing into them. I wonder if there's any reason they're manually tapping. And they scoop. No pity. Here we do not have pity for cycling players. Oh my, this gotta be fake. This is cap. Let's go. All our colors. End is a little awkward with 3 4-drops, but I mean, I did pack the deck with 4 drops, so I can't be complaining. The rationale behind so many 4-drops is I kind of don't mind playing Doom on 5 after getting an Archon down on 4. But we'll see if we're going to have time for that. Okay, 4th land, good. Let's Cascade away the Speaker. If we don't draw like a Mazemind Tome or an Elspeth's Nightmare or something, then we're going to just end up buying Yorion, which is fine. At least we get to do something with our mana. Aspirant comes down. We draw an ECD. Okay. Put this down on black. And scoop up the Yorion. Thank you. And probably Archon next turn. If we can get more enchantments, I'd feel a lot better about it. But I guess Archon into ECD take the Maul is okay. They're only on 1 creature as well, so Doom looks decent. But I do think we just get the Archon down. Attacking back with lifelink is going to be important, and if they're going to hold back to try to block it, then we're also pretty happy. Alright, 6/6 coming in. Ouch. Let's see what they commit to the board, Daxos. And pass, alright. I think it's just an ECD. We have a green source. I think I just got this on white. And we ECD the equipment. Unless I want to be really greedy and just go for 2nd Archon. I don't think we do that though. I think that's way too greedy. So let's take your Maul. Give me a Pegasus. And let's start getting some life back. We have 5 mana. So our sequencing is going to get a little awkward. Okay, so they actually find a Maul and put it on the Daxos. Alright, and we're going to block here. Gain a bit more life. Or actually, we wouldn't gain any life off blocking the Daxos. There's land. So what's the plan? We can go for Yorion. Blink. I guess taking the Aspirant is fine now because we have board presence. We are a red source away from actually casting Valky. So maybe it is just Yorion reset, take the other Maul, and then steal the Aspirant. I actually kind of like that. And because we're chipping away at their life total, this is a lot less scary. Oh, I messed up. Okay, so what I should have done is I should have attacked and then post-combat blinked everything, because then we would have had a untapped Archon. Yeah, so we're gonna go for the casket on the Aspirant, because a 1/1 speaker isn't very scary. But yeah, slight mistake, we should have Archon untapped right here. But I still don't think they're going to be super keen on attacking. Yeah, and they scoop up anyways. Right, we still have this bus of a Yorion and a 2/2 Pegasus. So, I mean, their attacks aren't exactly good. They're just even worse with the Pegasus. Okay, only 2 lands, but we have the Tome, so hopefully it will get us there. We're missing green, but I'm not too worried about it. We'll find some green eventually. Just sort out the hand. Mono red. Okay. Land is good. Regardless of it being potentially tapped, I do just want to hit my land drops. And stomp my face. Okay, we're going to scry now. I'm not going to scry on upkeep. More removal. I think that's also fine. And we're going to hold up Tome Draw and Eliminate. I would have kept land, but I do think Eliminate's fine in this spot. They go for an Annex. I also kind of want to Extinction Event that. I don't exactly want to give them value in the 1/1. So we're going to draw now. Not crack the passage because I don't want to thin my deck. And maybe it's a waste of an event, but if they had 1-drops, they would have played them. Is my rationale, at least. Again, we don't crack the passage till we actually need the mana. And, well, maybe we don't event. Maybe we just eliminate the Annex. Or maybe we... Well, I don't know. I'm worried that they're just going to play a bigger threat. You know what? I think we pass. I think I'd be greedy. I think I messed up a little bit. Basically, I can take a bump from this Annex, and I kind of want them to commit more to the board. If they opt for like a Torbrand here, then I can eliminate the Annex, then Extinction Event even anyways. And this is basically the stuff going through my head really quick. I'm just talking it out now. And being able to draw and blow up the Annex is optimal. And if they slam Bone Crusher Giant, then... Yep, see, that's what I'm saying. Logically, they probably had something like that based on their play pattern of no 1-drops or 2-drops and their keep. So we can just do all this now. Their turn's over, and we can event for even and feel pretty good about ourselves. I meant to put a stop on upkeep to scry for land, but I don't think it's going to end up mattering very much. And nothing in yard. I do just think we event for even and be done with these creatures. Even. Yep. Alright, so sorry on the little bit of thinking, but I am pretty happy with my end decision. Also, double ECD plus the potential to blink it with the Yorion means we probably just close this game out that way. Yeah, find a robber. So sure, we'll see what you take. And a Bone Crusher Giant. I do want land, but I do think we might want the last card off this tome, and they hit land. So I'm not going to scry until I absolutely need it. Plus we can get some life out of this. Omen. So Omen plus Eliminate is a turn. But we can also just ECD the Giant. So, I mean, there's nothing in the yard. I think we just do this. They might cleave and get through my play. And right here, if they spend their turn just cleaving up a robber, I think we're pretty happy. We take 6, but then we just stabilize. And I might just reset the tome with the Yorion. Okay, they take it a Nightmare, which might get awkward. I don't love that. Cleave? Yeah, there you go. Okay, they cleave me up. Again, I still think I'm okay. And we find land. So what's the best play pattern? I guess Doom. Well, we have a bunch of options. Let's get this down on white. I can go Doom and Eliminate. I can just blink reset everything. I kind of like Doom plus Eliminate though. Sacrifice the ECD. Okay. I'm going for it. And I'm going to force them to sacrifice their Embercleave by main phasing the Eliminate. So I guess I've changed my mind a lot this game. But yeah, there you go. And that just caused them to scoop up anyways. So yeah, Abzan Doom has a pretty good matchup against aggro. I think we just cleared 3 aggro decks in a row. So not too shabby. Okay, Hand is fine. Let's go. I don't even think I have used binding all that much today. Or at all, if that. I'm not even sure. But we have a nice 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to start with this on 1. A little awkward because our second white source, which we do very much want for Apparition and ECD, is also our green source, which we want for binding. So hopefully we can find another land in the short amount of time before we have to make a decision on it. Like, if I find another white source, it's a pretty clear green source, but we'll see. And Trail of Crumbs, that's awkward. I do want to take that out. Hell yeah, let's go. Trail, no value, a white source right off the top. So we feel no guilt about playing this on green and then hitting their next thing. And then ramping into ECD. Or ramping, you know what I mean. And they slam the Lovestruck Beast. Okay, so Doom can take care of it, but I do think we just bind it. Just play mana efficiently. And while Doom is mana efficient, I don't exactly want to just give them a 2/2 for free. And we attack. There's no good reason not to. Like, it can't block a Questing Beast and I wouldn't. And that's like the quickest game ever. Let's go. Opponent just scoops it up. Too much value. I'm just playing it. It is quite a bit of value though. Alright guys, and we are back. So, final change I did was swap a Birth for a Heartless Act. I think that 4 planes isn't enough to justify 4 Births, despite them having other uses like comboing well with the Archon, Eorian, and Doom Foretold. I think 3 is enough, and the deck performed really well today. I went on like a pretty decent win streak. I don't think I lost any games with it at all. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the build. I don't think you need Garrick, but it's just another fun thing to play with because we are in Abzan, and it just costs 1 green. We get so much free green mana with, you know, Binding of the Gods and our mana base being able to hold it relatively for free. So I really like this list. It's very much so my play style. I understand if you don't. Oh, also, Tybalt. Never cast him today, but the fact that you have the option at such a low cost is really great. I do recommend running it. As long as you have them, I wouldn't craft. I mean, you can craft these, you run them in so many decks, and as long as you have the triomes, because these are strictly better than the temples. So, anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me. Deck list will be in the description down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.